Hudson County View, live and uncut. I'm your host, the reflection of perfection, and your #1 selection, John R. Heinis. And of course, today we're going to be talking a lot about what happened last night. Of course, that was election day, and in case you went to bed really early, U.S. Representative Rob Menendez defeated Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bala and first-time candidate Kyle J.C. What ended up not being a terribly competitive race when it was all said and done. Of course, that doesn't mean that there was not a lot of blood on the ground. Of course, this was a very aggressive, and many called it a dirty campaign. And we're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about all the money spent, all in. We're looking at probably 4.5 to 5 million. But at the end of the day, a double-digit win for Menendez. It looked like it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 to 20 points, but you know, there's still quite a few outstanding districts for one reason or another. And also in Kearney, we saw that the councilman in the 3rd Ward, who was just here last week, that was Renato da Silva, actually lost to Fred Estevez. And that was the candidate backed by Mayor Carol G. Doyle. So we'll also dig into that a bit. And beyond that, you know, of course, we'll talk about the regular nitty-gritty politics and government stuff. You know, we also have something here on New Jersey City University. The president, interim president that is, Andres Acebo, got a lot of support out of Trenton, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also going to chat a bit about the new Hudson County Superintendent of Elections, which of course is relevant in light of the primary election. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more right after this word from our sponsors.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Hudson County View, live and uncut, John R. Heinis. So let's talk a little bit about last night. Again, in the 8th Congressional District, U.S. Representative Rob Menendez defeated Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bala and Kyle J.C. in the Democratic primary. A lot of people, a lot of national outlets called this as being, you know, too close to call. They were expecting a real dogfight. And while it was a certainly messy, aggressive, and in my opinion, fun campaign to watch and to cover, it really wasn't that tight at the end of the day. You know, based on the turnout that we have from the New York Times here, it looks like with 84% of the vote counted, it looks like Menendez is up by roughly 16 points. And, you know, we have outstanding districts in Hudson, in Newark, and Elizabeth. So, you know, the numbers are still very unofficial. They're not going to be certified for a couple weeks, as is, you know, always the case. But right now, it's 53.7 for Menendez, 35.8 for Bala. That's with 84% of the vote counted, again, per the New York Times. So, you know, at the end of the day, the North Hudson turnout was just gargantuan, as it almost always is. You know, of course, State Senator and Union City Mayor Brian Stack really got the vote out, as he always does. And similarly, though, you know, in North Bergen, the vote pluralities were quite large. And the margins, I should say, were quite large, as well as in West New York, Weehawken, and Guttenberg. So that's what we really expected to see. And then, you know, credit where credit is due. You know, Bala did win Hoboken and Jersey City by pretty significant margins as well. It looks like roughly 2-1 in both those places. But again, a lot of numbers outstanding. So, you know, it's going to take probably a day or two at a minimum before we get a real feel on what those numbers look like. So with that, at the victory party, we heard from Hudson County Executive Craig Guy, State Senator Brian Stack, who, basically just said thank you everyone for their support. We're really happy with how this turned out. And Stack basically denounced the campaign that Bala ran, calling it dirty and saying that a lot of unnecessary pot shots were taken, to paraphrase. So in Menendez's speech there, he said, thank you. We built a coalition that withstood some of the most vile things that could be thrown at a candidate. We didn't just deal with ads. We dealt with straight up lies. We withstood it all. And we are here tonight victorious. This district is about when you get knocked down, picking yourself back up. No one had to face the challenges we had to face this election cycle, and we're still here. We ran out our track record, as that is what voters responded to tonight. We will always fight for you. Whatever questions people had about me, we answered them tonight. We earned this election. We fought for this election. So, pretty decisive, pretty definitive words there. And I got a chance to speak to him after he got off stage. So I'm going to show you that, and then we're going to take a quick break.
On the official side, there's nothing to repair. I was telling someone earlier that we have community funding projects, what people used to call earmarks. I reached out to him in the middle of the campaign. His administration submitted a request, and we only have a limited number of requests, but it was one of the ones that we submitted. So even in the middle of this campaign, as hard it was, on the official side, there's nothing to repair. I was telling someone earlier that we have community funding projects, what people used to call earmarks. I reached out to him in the middle of the campaign. His administration submitted a request, and we only have a limited number of requests, but it was one of the ones that we submitted. So even in the middle of this campaign, as hard as it was on the political side, we continue to work together. And when I spoke to him tonight, I thanked him, and I also said I look forward to going back to work, or continuing to go to work for the residents of Hoboken. There will be no issue there, and we'll always be of service to those incredible residents.
On the personal side, though, I guess no holiday cards, no casual drinks, no dinners.
I think at this point you will not see a holiday card. But listen, with time, anything can change, anything can heal. I was disappointed in a lot, but we'll have those conversations. Ultimately, the most important takeaways, there'll be no issue on the official side. I think people know that. They'll see that, and we've already proven that in the last 3 weeks when we had to submit that request.
What are maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 priorities in Washington you'd like to tackle if you do get to that second term, again, which looks pretty likely?
Yeah, so listen, we're always going to listen to the residents of the district. What their priorities are will be our priorities. We have to continue to tackle the affordability challenge that people have. I hope the Democrats take back the majority in the House so we can restore order to the people's house. And I would love to take on the housing challenge. There's some great pieces of legislation that are currently pending that don't see the light of day because of the Republican majority. If we take the majority back, affordability, housing, and continuing to invest in our mass transit infrastructure, those are the 3 things I want to continue to fight for, continue to advocate for on behalf of the district.
Now, look, obviously today is your day. But still, much has been made about the Senate race. Any thought given yet on who you're going to be supporting in November?
Listen, we got to this point by focusing what's within our control, and that got us to this victory tonight.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, a adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
View live at Uncut, John Heinis. So I'll give you the numbers we have as of this moment, and then we'll move on from the 8th district race. But right now, Kyle J.C. has 9.34% in Hudson County. That's 3,049 votes. Ravi Bala has 37.79% of the vote. That's 12,341 votes. And Rob Menendez has 52.3% of the vote, 17,076. And there was 0.57% write-ins. That's 187. 32,653 ballots cast. That's with 87.42% of Hudson County reporting. So obviously there's quite a few districts outstanding for whatever reason. Now, when you go over to Union County, Elizabeth, of course, is part of the 8th district, as we've talked about, a number of times. Over there, we see that Kyle J.C. is just over 14%, 14.06. That's 518 votes. Ravi Bala, 25%, 921 votes. Rob Menendez, just a hair under 60%, 59.8. 2,203 votes, and the write-ins there just 42, which is 1.14%. Again, this is Union County, specifically in Elizabeth, which is the only Union County town in the 8th district, or municipality that is in the 8th district, and that's with 96.77% reporting. And then finally, when we go over to Essex County, portion of Newark, of course, is also a part of the 8th district, and over there, we have 96.49% of districts reporting. And Kyle J.C. got 530 votes, that's 20.46%. Ravi Bala got 22.19%, that's 575 votes. And Rob Menendez got 57.35, 1,486. And as of this moment, there is no write-in votes being reported. So, looks like Congressman Menendez, again, will win by probably in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 points, but we're awaiting quite a few districts reporting, especially in Hudson. So, beyond that, let's briefly also chat about the Carney race. It was actually pretty close, very low turnout. I mean, we're only talking 596 votes cast. And Renato da Silva got 43.96%. He was the incumbent, of course, 262 votes. And Fred Estevez got 56.04, 334 votes. So, again, not particularly great turnout, but a fairly definitive result given the circumstances. So it looks like we have a new councilman-elect in Fred Estevez, so congratulations to him over in West Hudson. And there's really not too much else to talk about in terms of Election Day. Obviously, most of these races were unopposed. Hudson County surrogate Tilo Rivas didn't have an opponent. The two East Newark council members, the council at large, which included the council chair, that's Kenneth Graham and Rose Evaristo, no opponents. So, not a heck of a lot to talk about there. Obviously, there was no primary for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. And the Senate race ended up being a bit of a blowout. Curtis Bashaw won decisively over Mendham Mayor Christine Serrato-Glassner, which was not a result many people were expecting. Of course, she had the endorsement of President Donald Trump and many other national Republicans, but, it would appear that the MAGA contingent voter base, if you will, here in New Jersey, just is not large enough to win a statewide race. I mean, and of course the Republicans, don't forget, also had the party line, even though the Democrats didn't. So that obviously factored into play as well. Also worth noting that Anthony Valdez of West New York, he has previously run for town commissioner of the Board of Education. He's the Republican nominee for the 8th district, so he'll take on Menendez in November. And decisive win for Billy Prempe in the 9th district. Of course, that includes about half of Kearney and Secaucus. And, Bill Pasquale hit it out of the park. He won by about a 4-1 margin against Prospect Park Mayor Mohammed Karula. So other than that, not a heck of a lot to tell you, a relatively small ballot this time around. So with that, obviously we're going to keep our eye on the numbers, particularly in Hoboken and Jersey City. But we're going to move on from Election Day for the moment. We're going to talk now about New Jersey City University. Now, we had 16 New Jersey lawmakers. It was originally 15 and others added on. And they have come out in support of the university as a whole and also the interim president, Andres Acebo, as I said at the top of the program. And it was a very long statement that was signed by the Hudson County Legislative Delegation, the Latino Legislative Caucus, and Black Legislative Caucus. So they basically gave a glowing evaluation of Acebo's tenure, which started in January 23. And in short, you know, I highlighted this. We applaud the servant leadership that the state and our communities have witnessed from NJCU interim president Andres Acebo. JD, President Acebo is the only current Latino to lead any institution of higher education in New Jersey and the youngest known to ever lead a public university in our state. Equally notable is that he also personifies the stories of the students he serves as a first-generation public school educated son of working-class immigrants born and raised in Hudson County. Became the first person in his family to attend college. He exemplifies the promise of equal opportunity in higher education. So obviously they didn't come out and say it, but it seems pretty clear that they would like to see Acebo get that interim title removed and get a, some sort of long-term contract with the university. NJCU Board of Trustees has a meeting scheduled for June 24th, and it is expected widely that he is going to get just that. Of course, it's not official yet, but things are looking pretty good. And actually, I got an email maybe just 30 minutes ago or so indicating that several other legislators that were not initially on the release have added their names. And that includes Assemblywoman Allison Colasos-Gill, Assemblywoman Edith Quijano, that's of the 27th Legislative District, and Senator Nilsa Cruz Perez, that's of the 5th Legislative District, Assemblywoman Carmen Morales, that's Legislative District 34, and Assemblywoman Yvonne Lopez, and that's of Legislative District 19. We're going to take another break, folks. We'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View live and uncut. John Heinis. So again, well, I said we're moving away from elections, but actually this story could be more election relevant, but we're not actually talking about the ballot per se. So what do I mean? What I mean is Mary Ann Kelleher, who had worked for various roles at Jersey City City Hall, including the Director of Cultural Affairs at Healthier JC, has been sworn in as the new Hudson County Superintendent of Elections, and that actually came out on Monday, which was, of course, the day before the primary. So, a little bit of a baptism by fire, but she's no stranger to local government, as I will explain to you in just a moment. So, she said in a statement that after 28 years of dedicated civil service to the people of Jersey City, I'm honored to have the opportunity to expand my public service to all the good people of Hudson County. I am so grateful for this appointment to serve as the Hudson County Superintendent of Elections, as it will allow me to continue to work towards equity for the community I've loved and celebrated throughout my career. So, she's been there, or she was in Jersey City, I should say, from 1996 all the way till, I believe it was the end of April this year. So she's worked under a number of mayors, including Brett Schudler, Glenn Cunningham, L. Harvey Smith, Jeremiah Healy, and of course, Stephen Fulop. And the Jersey City Council approved a resolution on May 8th commemorating her service and wished her well for her tenure with the county. And she was confirmed to her new post by the New Jersey Senate Judiciary Committee on May 20th. So, this was something that had a few moving parts, but obviously it all ended up working out. So we heard from Craig Guy, who attended the swearing-in ceremony. Of course, he's the Hudson County Executive. He said, with this critical election coming up, it's important we have competent, qualified, and skilled leadership in this role. Marianne is a pillar of electoral integrity, and I'm confident she will excel in this position. She succeeds John Brzezowski, who began working for the county in late 1994 before retiring this year. There was no formal announcement on that, so this was a little bit of a surprise for some folks. To be honest, I didn't even know about it until this came out, so, you know, food for thought there. So moving on to some other local issues, let's talk a bit now about the Hoboken rent control referendum. So this is something that we spoke about on this show a few times, and we know that Ron Simoncini was here a few weeks ago. Of course, he's the executive director of the Miles Square Taxpayers Association. Most people just call it the MSTA. And they have this rent control referendum where they want voters to decide whether or not that the rent control rules should be loosened, to put it in simplest terms. Now, they submitted quite a few signatures. It was over 2,100 a few weeks ago. And then we found out late on Friday that the city clerk, that's Jimmy Farina, deemed those petitions to be largely defective. So allow me to elaborate here. Basically, the letter to the city council on that day says the committee of petitioners submitted a petition with 2,162 signatures. Out of 2,162 signatures, 802 were found to be valid pursuant to, and it states a state statute. The remaining 1,360 signatures were found to be invalid signatures, and the signatories were not found to be qualified voters based upon comparison to the current registered voter logs. So the question that I alluded to just a moment ago, should Chapter 155.31 of the ordinances of the City of Hoboken Rent Control Ordinance be amended to provide an option to landlords to pay a fee of $2,500 to the Hoboken Affordable Housing Trust Fund in order to lease voluntarily vacated apartments at a freely negotiated rent, which thereafter remain subject to the provisions of the RCO, including limitations on annual rent increases. So I, of course, spoke to Simoncini about this, and bottom line is he says that there's a big discrepancy here. Now, 8,935 Hoboken residents cast their ballots in November, and a ballot referendum to accompany a general election will require 895 signatures. That's, of course, 10%. And 1,340, 15% would be for a special election. However, Farina's interpretation is that 1,366 are necessary to be part of the general election. So obviously that's, you know, a considerable difference. Either way, the committee of petitioners has 10 days to amend or cure the petitions. So not really sure where this is going. I mean, it didn't really look like we were going to go to a referendum. I mean, based on what I was being told behind the scenes, it appeared that the council, in some concert with the administration, was going to reach some sort of agreement, but now very unclear. So we're going to keep our eye on that one. Not really sure where it's going, to be perfectly honest with you. So another one that we don't talk about a lot of crime on this program, but this is a unique one. Many of you are familiar with the name James Lisa. He's an attorney that was accused by the U.S. Attorney's Office of defrauding clients out of over $2 million. He got a 5.5-year prison sentence last week. And let's dig into this case. So James R. Lisa, he's 68, previously pleaded guilty before U.S. District Court Judge Kevin McNulty to a superseding information charging him with 1 count of wire fraud, 1 count of aggravated identity theft, 1 count of obstructing the IRS, 1 count of failing to file an individual income tax return, and 1 count of wire fraud while on pretrial release. So obviously there was quite a bit going on here. And we heard from U.S. Attorney Philip Selinger, and he said in a statement, James Lisa used his law license to execute a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme and rip off clients who placed their trust in him. Then, after being charged for that fraud, Lisa committed another when, posing as his own lawyer, he sent a bogus letter to a lender that falsely described the status of his criminal case. Lisa's multiple criminal acts were serious violations of his oath as an officer of the court and his betrayal of his client's trust. The sentence imposed today is his just punishment for these crimes. So, we'll let you dig into that one on your own if you haven't seen it yet. We're going to take one more break. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. call 201 867 2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View live and uncut. John R. Heinis. So let's go back to the governmental side in Hoboken. So last week, the Hoboken Police Department said they were going to host a gun buyback program where residents could earn up to $350 per firearm. Of course, this was done in light of this very sad and tragic murder of Demond Murray, who was just 21 years old when he was gunned down outside a housing authority building recently. That was at the end of April. So the buyback event will be held at Hoboken Police Quarters. That's 106 Hudson Street from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, June 22nd, pending approval from the New Jersey Attorney General's office. And, you know, it would be surprising if they didn't approve it. If anything, I think the date would just change a little bit. But nonetheless, the rise in gun violence is a national epidemic, but having recently lost one of our own makes this personal for me and our public safety department. This is Public Safety Director Ken Ferrante, and he said that in a statement. If we take one gun off the streets, perhaps we are protecting one family from the devastation Demond's family is going through today. So for those that are interested in participating, inoperable weapons will be bought for $40. Rifles and shotguns are valued at $200. Semi-automatic and revolver handguns purchased for $250. Assault weapons and other illegal firearms are assigned a $350 buyback price. So we heard from Ravi Bala, of course the mayor. We understand that Hoboken, compared to other cities, is not known for gun violence, but even one shooting death in our city is one too many, and if this buyback can prevent even a single instance of gun violence, it is well worth it. I offer my sincere thanks to law enforcement officials who took the time to review and consider this program. I would also like to thank the residents who I spoke with following Demond Murray's tragic passing for supporting this decision. So we also know that earlier this month, or actually it was last month now, in May, Hoboken is going to name the gym at 605 Jackson Street after Murray. Remember, he was a Hoboken High School graduate. He worked for the Board of Education, and he was a standout basketball and football player. He was actually a walk-on football player at Rutgers University and was taking a semester off to help his family before tragedy struck here. It looks like it's going to be called the Demond Murray Community Gym, and that's going to be dedicated at a date to be determined. And in wake of his killing, friends and family members have called on the city and police department to do more for those underserved communities, with 3 council members suggesting to bring back a police precinct at the Hoboken Housing Authority. For those of you that may have missed it, you know, it's a little old at this point, but those council members were 2nd Ward Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher, 3rd Ward Councilman Mike Russo, and 4th Ward Councilman Ruben Ramos, whose district includes the HHA. And this first came up at a forum, 8th District Congressional Forum, in the Jersey City Heights. And at that time, he decided not to get into specifics. I guess they were awaiting information from the Attorney General's office, though it wasn't entirely clear at that time. So with that, folks, we're going to call it a season, for lack of a better term. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you in September. Enjoy your summer.